Today, we're going to be making a little baby mandrake. I had this urge to try and make a cute/ugly baby mandrake, so we're going to be attempting that. You obviously know how it turns out, so let's get right into it. I'm going to grab some aluminium foil, as they say in the UC. This stuff is going to act like our base, so we don't have to waste too much clay in making this. I'm going to try and make one smaller one for the head, and then a big fat one for the body, because this has to be a chunky little baby mandrake. It has to look cute and like it had enough little grains to feed it through the winter. Wait a minute, do they eat grains? That doesn't make sense. I mean, they have a mouth, so they have to eat something. They can't just have water, right? Grains make sense. We're going with grains. I just cut up this steel wire. It's fairly flexible, so I'm going to stick it into the head part of the aluminum foil. These are going to act as stems that come out of the head. And now let's waste an absurd amount of glue gluing these things down. I'm 90% sure this is not how you're supposed to do this, but we're going to leave it because crafts. Here is the head and the body. And now let's magic these pieces together. Look at that. Now, as you can see, this guy has a fat old rump here. Disturbed fans may even say he's down with the thickness. Now, it's a little too much booty for me, so let's squash that booty. And let's get some clay. Now, through the magic of editing, I cut out the entire 30-minute process of me trying to open this clay container. It was a struggle. But when at first you don't succeed, try a few more times until you get bored. That gets me wondering. You think I could be a motivational speaker? I could motivate you. Run. Scratch that. Scratch it. Scratch. I take it back, okay? I am not a motivational speaker. Dude, I'll stick with this. I'll make weird things. Let that be for other people. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Okay, so we're just gonna get a rough covering. We're just gonna lop it over here. This little man that we made. Throughout this project, I have learned many things, one of which is clay is not my forte. Parentheses, that was not meant to rhyme. I'm sorry. All right, let's slap another noodle on the top. These are gonna act as the stems. Look at that. That is my noodly guy right there. All right, let's start out with the detailing. Now I'm gonna add a neckline so it doesn't look like a potato. It would have also looked cute as a potato, I'm not gonna lie. And we're gonna add some eye holes so we can add some mystery goop to fill them in later. All right, our dapper little man is ready for some mystery goop. We're gonna put him on his side. We're gonna prop him up with a little marker. Our mystery goop is, you guessed it, hot glue. I will say this is surprisingly difficult. Make sure if you do this, do not retouch the hot glue or it'll stick back to the thing and create little strands. Your eyes will look like little stabby pointy pencils. Also, do not use this video as a how-to. All I had to do is get it in the hole and I completely missed. Now, cool paint montage. I try to keep that montage extra whimsical for you guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm adding on the face features now. We're adding on the eyebrows and the cheeks. Trying to really give that baby upset look that we're going for. Because we all know, end of the day, an upset baby is a cute baby. Moving on. I'm going to try and make these cheekbones extra fat and extra plump. I was kind of going for a Studio Ghibli baby, and if you've ever seen one of those, they're kind of chunky. Sidebar, I think babies need to be stopped. If you really think about it, they sit there, they complain and get what they want, they don't have to pay bills. We need to knock them down a couple pegs. We really need to stop babies. Hashtag stop the baby. Let's go! We're using this Dollar Tree tool that I bought, this little nub jewel, and we're just smoothing out these cheeks. And now, a word from our sponsor. Hey friends, have you been having trouble performing on and off the court? Well, I have. No, I'm just playing. I don't have a sponsor. But I do appreciate everyone that actually believed I did. You have more faith in me than I do. It's been a long day without you, my friend. Yeah, we're still working on the cheeks, doing some cheek work. We're pushing in the sides, really smoothing it out. Getting those smooth baby boys. But on the real note, guys, doesn't that look like a little baby boy that eats grains? That looks like a grain eater. Grain baby boy. Well, we're going to take this paintbrush and we're going to dip it in water. This water will help us smooth out these edges. It takes a little bit of work, but it kind of melds them together. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It really smoothened out a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. We're going to cut out a little extra piece and we're going to make the noodly appendages. In the movie, the arms and legs don't look very useful, so we're going to make them like twist and twine. Make it look like a spare ramen that fell on the ground. And let's perform surgery and put these arms on here. Is it fair to say that I feel like a god right now? Creating this little mandrake out of thin air. It's beautiful. I am the god of mandrakes, and yet I can't clean my room. Anyways, this guy's really coming together. We got both the arms on. This is him with all his ligaments. Beautiful. And a belly. You weren't expecting that. I grabbed this springtime wreath. I'm gonna grab a couple sprigs, because this is what we use for the top of the head. The leaves that undulate out. Undulate? That's not the right word, but we're gonna go with it. We're going to secure these leaves with a little bit of hot glue. I don't know how strong they're going to be, so I would recommend doing this another way with like actual glue, but this is how I did it. It seemed fairly strong after the fact, but I wouldn't trust it. Go with a stronger glue. I will say, one advantage for using this Crayola clay is it did seem to meld with the hot glue and almost melt into it. I don't know what they put in it, but it did fuse with the hot glue and actually made it a little bit stronger. The only problem is the clay itself is very squishy, so I don't know how much stronger. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, maybe consider subscribing and or liking. It helps out like crazy. Also, if you guys have any ideas on what I should do next, pop culture, references, really anything, I'm always down to make something new, so drop that in the comments. Besides that, let's get back into the content. We're making a little bit of black Mod Podge. This allows you to put down a base coat of Mod Podge and black paint at the same time, so you don't have to make it in two different steps. Mod Podge almost acts as a protective primer, so that you can put on paint and other things after. And the black obviously acts as a black base coat, so it doesn't take nearly as much brown to get that dark look we're looking for. I'm really happy with how this guy is turning out. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this guy being a new addition on my shelf. He's just going to be grumpy and judging and looking at everybody that comes into my room. And I think that's fantastic. I think everybody needs a little bit of something that really helps shine through and lets them know that they're being judged. Let's set that aside and let it dry, and let's start on the pot. This is a sturdy, one-of-a-kind pot I found from the dollar store. The only problem is it's a little too smooth, but we're going to roughen that out and really make it look old. Little warning, we are going to be using a knife, so for everyone that does not want to see a knife, click out now. Alright, so we're going to use this knife to really roughen up the edges. I feel like, obviously, a pot wouldn't be perfect, especially one kept in Hogwarts that is kind of dingy, let's be honest here. So let's make some marks and some scores. Almost looked like it was cracked or dropped. But this isn't going to be a perfect baby mandrake. This is going to be a beautiful baby mandrake. Because our flaws are what makes us beautiful. Now we're going to make a black wash. It's kind of like paint, but it's more like, think of it like a dye. We're making a very diluted dye that's going to go and fill in the cracks and crevices to really highlight all of the dinginess. Now, I mixed together a little bit of black paint, a little bit of black dye, and some dish soap. Just a little bit. We don't need too much. I've never done this before, so let's try it out here. And that is way too dark. Let's mush that, or nope, it's not fixing it. That is absolutely way too dark. This is awful. And I am back with a new batch. Let's hope this is better. All right, let's try it out. That's a lot better, actually. Seal of approval for me. Why'd I keep that in? All right, we're going to add this to the cracks and kind of all over. Make it look like it was sat in the weather for a little bit. Random drips and random spots. I really like the look of it seeping into the cracks. It looks really cool. And now it is time for a little bit of dirtying pot montage. Alright, now it is time to fill in the pot. Now when I say this is the bane of my existence, this is the bane of my existence. I hate this foam. Never buy this foam. It's from the dollar store. It's awful. Oh my gosh, we are finally done. This is awful. Do not use this foam. But let's test if it fits, and it does pretty nice. Now that that's all dry, all we have to do is paint up our little man. So I'm going to mix these 3 browns together. I didn't like any of the browns individually, so we're just going to mix them together. Hopefully it works out. You guys already know if it works out, so. Thinking about it now, I wonder what kind of oats this guy eats. You think he can tell if it's a steel cut oat or not? I wonder. Now here is the dapper man all painted up. We add a little bit of highlights after this, but this is for the most part his finished form. Now we're going to add a little bit of eye sheen to give him that real uwu kawaii vibes, because we know that's what we're looking for here. I mean, I think I could tell if they're steel cut or not. Maybe. What makes a steel cut oat anyways? Is it just how it's cut? Or, because I thought it was like a different shape or something. I don't know, I'll have to look this up. While I have the brush out, I'm going to add some specks of white and gray later on to symbolize specks of dirt and stuff. And now that the video is coming to a close, I'm going to shut up for 2 minutes and let you watch the finishing details. Without further ado, here's the baby mandrake. If you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it, maybe consider sticking around a little bit longer by subscribing. If you guys enjoyed it and just want to send a thanks, maybe consider liking the video. Helps out a lot. And besides that, peace out. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Hope you guys eat your vegetables. See you in the flippity flop.